Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Warriors of Wrestling webcast. I'm your host, as always, Sam Gomez. We are just 1 week away from the biggest event in Warriors of Wrestling history, our 2-year anniversary Final Solution. Now, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I have somewhat of a special guest with me. He's known as a 15-year pro, depending on your definition of a professional. None other than Musky.
Ha ha! That is right, Sam Gomez! Ha ha! I am the joke one! The arrogant aristocrat! I am Musky! Touche! Touche! One more time.
Musky?
That is right! I am Musky! Touche!
Do you want me to do it?
No, you don't understand.
I can do it.
Only I can do this.
Let me.
This is my piece of equipment.
I can. Right.
This is my piece of equipment. You gotta understand this. Oh!
I got it.
The East Coast premier pro wrestling organization Warriors of Wrestling returns to Staten Island as Warriors of Wrestling presents its 2-year anniversary show, Final Solution, live December 5th at Funstation USA, 3555 Victory Boulevard in Staten Island, New York. Tickets are only $20 for front row and are available at warriorsofwrestling.com or at Funstation itself. On tap for that night, a night of main events, including Jason Cross, our heavyweight champion, taking on Nick Saber, the No Limits champion, and Damian Dragon in a 3-way dance for both belts, and a 7-man No Limits Money in the Bank style match, pitting the best in the division against each other for a shot at the No Limits belt. All this and much, much more at Final Solution.
You know, so many people never thought they'd see the day. Warriors of Wrestling 2-year anniversary show coming up December 5th. Final Solution. Logan Black, I've been there since day one. I've seen it come and go. I've seen wrestlers come and go. I've seen styles come and go. I've seen management come and go. And it truly is a feat to be here at the 2-year anniversary show, getting all set for one of the biggest shows in the history of wrestling in general. Except for the fact that when Warriors of Wrestling wants to try and hype a show, they always happen to push me and Dirtbag Dan to the back. I got no clue. Are you scared? Joe Miller, you scared, Warriors of Wrestling? You scared that I just might embarrass you? That I might go out there and just do something so messed up that you can't come back from it? But instead, you're going to hype 3 matches. Let's go through them right now. Tag team title match. Been there, done that. No Limits. You know, you got a lot of guys walking around talking about their Mr. No Limits, talking about inventing the No Limits division, talking about creating something that's different. Let's go back to February 2008. Logan Black was involved in the most brutal match that the indies have seen in some time, the TLC death match. I invented No Limits. I put No Limits and this company on the map. But we could try and forget about that, right? We're not supposed to be thinking about that. What about the heavyweight title? You know what? Heavyweight title. I give Jason Cross all the credit there is in the world. But Jason Cross hasn't beaten me. So until he does, the heavyweight title doesn't even exist in my head. You see, because because Warriors of Wrestling management doesn't see it correct to put me in a main event spot again because of the brutality that happens to come along with Logan Black and Dirtbag Dan, I gotta take it upon myself to make these videos and to send them in to that idiot for his web show. So let's take a look at this. For some time now, I've had a little bit of an issue with the Society of Ventru. This is a team that has decimated everybody they've gone through. Jason Karloff threw All-Star Lou over his head, almost broke the kid's neck. Impressive. John Cannon busted up Antonio Rivera to the point where the man needed almost 15 stitches. pretty impressive. You guys are far from the most brutal tag team in Warriors of Wrestling because you see, after a while, I guess you guys felt that you needed to go soft and started shaking hands and kissing babies and doing all that bullshit. Logan Black doesn't need to do any of that. I go out there and I take care of business. Dirtbag Dan goes out there. He takes care of business. So now I've taken it upon myself to put you guys back in your place.
In addition to all the great matches at the 2-year anniversary, the grudge match, the triple threat main event for both the No Limits and heavyweight title, and the Money in the Bank style match, there is another match that has caused a lot of controversy between two giant competitors.
That is right. We're talking about the Musky return to the ring at Final Solution. Oh yeah,
No.
I know about it.
Okay. Actually, I wasn't aware they asked you to come back to Warriors of Wrestling. Actually, I was talking about the matchup between the Syndicate's own Dan Dillinger and Lucifer Darkseid. And the reason the fans are raving about this matchup is because if Dan Dillinger wins, Lucifer Darkseid has to retire from wrestling forever. However, if Lucifer Darkseid is able to pin or submit Dan Dillinger, then Lucifer Darkseid will get 5 minutes with the Syndicate's manager, Neftali Rodriguez.
Neftali Rodriguez here. Here I am in Buffalo, New York, at a bed and breakfast I stopped at because, you know, I wanted to kick it back, as they say, like the regular people do. Granted, regular person stays here, I bought it. Point in fact, doesn't matter. I'm spending a nice night here. You might notice that the Syndicate isn't around me. That's because they're relaxing too. Paid vacation, getting ready for Final Solution. December 5th, Warriors of Wrestling's 2-year anniversary show, and what better show to be on? What better show to rule than the 2-year anniversary? Final Solution. Kayvon Brown, Abdul Nasir, Dan Dillinger, Thor, all my men are out relaxing right now in Miami, getting a tan, getting a massage, getting ready. My biggest investment, Dan Dillinger, the Titan that is, will be facing off against a man who I've talked about in the past, really doesn't even deserve my time. Lucifer Darkseid. Lucifer Darkseid, you and me have shed a couple of words. In fact, if you remember correctly, I slapped you 3 times. Remember that? Did they sting? Did they hurt? Because they should. Dan Dillinger, with his massive amounts of strength, will come at Final Solution and crash through you. And guess what I've done? Because Neftali Rodriguez does not disappoint. I've set it up so that if you lose, you have to retire. Yes, Lucifer Darkseid will be out on the streets, back to where he belongs, slinging that crack. That's what he does. If Lucifer Darkseid beats Dan Dillinger, and that's a big, big if, him and I have to face off for 5 minutes in the ring. Now, you may be able to crush me in 2 and squish me. Wow. Crush me and squish me. That scares the shit out of me. Irrelevant if so. Dan Dillinger will take you out. Final Solution will be the Syndicate's event. Oh, and one more thing. Stop rolling your R's, because the only way you truly roll your R is when you're saying Neftali Rodriguez.
Well, that'll be all for this edition of the Warriors of Wrestling webcast. I'm your host, Sam Gomez. You can find out all the information at warriorsofwrestling.com or myspace.com/warriorsofwrestling. I hope to see you in a week at the 2-year anniversary.
Wait a second. This is supposed to be on Musky's time to talk about myself. They told me it was my time.
Oh, alright, fine. You can say what you need to say with the remaining time.
All right. Hello, Musky. Going straight to the top.
Time's up.
What? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Are you serious? I got this sword. I paid $20 to be here today. This is...